Thank you for clicking on this video. Join us Major Sisters as we travel to Barcelona, Spain to celebrate RacQuelle's 40th birthday abroad. We will be cruising on board MSC Grandiosa for our very first Mediterranean cruise with port stops in LaGoulette, Tunisia, Palermo, Genoa, and Sicily, Italy, as well as Marseille, France. You definitely don't want to miss this vlog series. It's travel day. It is travel day. We are headed to two sisters there, one there. We are headed to Barcelona. So follow along on this adventure, very first Mediterranean cruise. We are here in Columbus, headed to Miami, from Miami to Lisbon, Portugal, and then to Barcelona. And we cruise in 2 days. So we are off. Be sure to stick around. This is going to be an adventure. All right, so guys, we're here in Columbus. We've already had flight delays, so we've been extremely anxious about this trip, hoping that there wouldn't be, flight delays and things, but it happens. So we're delayed over 2 hours now. We have to fly from Columbus to Fort Lauderdale, then catch an Uber from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, and then Miami overseas. So our flight, good news is Dyson shared with us, because I couldn't figure out how to track it on the app, but he was able to confirm that the flight has left Orlando. There's some bad storms in Orlando right now. Thank goodness our flight is in the air. It's just going to be delayed getting here. So we're here. Fingers crossed. You guys pray for us that we get on our flight. Yeah, because we got to get there. Our flight out of Miami isn't until 11:25 p.m. And I did that strategically. That way we would be able to sleep overnight on the plane, because it's our, natural bedtime. So we have time. We just don't want any more delays. So let's see how this goes. Fingers crossed. So nervous about it, but it's going to do what it's supposed to do, right? So we're here. We're just hanging, and we'll get there when we get there. All right, it is boarding time. We are headed to Fort Lauderdale and then catching our Uber to Miami. They're off. All right, so we just landed in Fort Lauderdale. It is 8 o'clock. We are really delayed. We should have had like a 5-hour layover before our flight, but there were some storms in South Florida, so they had us going in circles. So now we have about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, and then check into our flight, drop our check bags off, all that good stuff. So we haven't had dinner. I'm hungry. So we're here. Let's see if we make it. So we are all checked in with TAP Portugal. Yes, I don't know if I mentioned this. This is my very first, well, not very first, first time going overseas like this. So I guess I could say my first international flight. I've gone to Mexico. So we are with TAP Portugal. This is our very first time with TAP Portugal. There's been a lot of mixed reviews on them. So far, the experience has been okay. We just checked in. They got our bags. They do weigh your carry-on. So they have a lot of restrictions as far as your luggage. So your carry-on can't weigh any more than 22 pounds. Your personal item can't weigh more than 4.4 pounds. So it sounds like they're pretty strict with that, but so far it's been okay. We just checked in. There's not a line or anything. So we'll see how this experience goes with TAP Portugal. And now they are one of the budget airlines. So you guys know we fly like Allegiant, Frontier, Spirit, all that. So TAP Portugal is one of those budget airlines that fly over to Lisbon, and then we'll take it from Lisbon over to Barcelona. So guys, it is 9:30. We have not eaten. I am starving. So our flight is in about 2 hours, so hopefully we'll have time to get something to eat. All right, finally situated. Got a sandwich, got a club sandwich. We got there right as they were closing. So yeah, got a club sandwich. So I'm gonna eat this. We should be boarding here in the next half hour or so. Oh, it's been an adventure. And we haven't even got on the long leg. But I'm hoping with this being a late night flight that we'll sleep and feel refreshed in the morning. So see you guys in a little bit. All right, it is after 11:30 and we're just now boarding. So we're on board. I was hoping, praying for a first class upgrade. Didn't happen, of course, but we're here. We're in the comfort seating. It's a little tight. It's a little tight, but there's room to spread out, at least according to the flight map or the seat map. So we're probably going to spread out just a little bit. But yeah, it has like this adjustable headrest there. Do have more leg room, but it doesn't. I don't know if it was worth the upgrade for the leg room, but I had to compare it to the seats in the back. So I'm 5'9", so I have plenty of leg room. I wonder what it's going to be like once people recline back. But these are supposed to have more recline than the standard seats, but I haven't reclined it back yet, so we'll see. Either way, I'm going to be asleep. I am exhausted. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out right now. I don't know if they're going to serve us a meal tonight or if they're going to give it to us in the morning when we get up. I'm hoping in the morning because I just want to go to bed. But if they serve us a meal, I'll be back. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the morning. So TAP Portugal did provide a dinner late, like 2 a.m. in the morning. I was asleep, and honestly, I couldn't stand the smell. I don't like a lot of food smells in closed spaces, but my sister said the meal was pretty decent. It wasn't bad. Now, this was a quick breakfast snack that they gave us. It's like a turkey or ham sandwich and a granola bar there, and you can get coffee, juice, and if you want, you can have wine, but that was included. And I do want to mention that TAP Portugal does have an included in-flight entertainment option available. You will have to use plug-in earbuds, but you can watch movies. They have some really good TV shows there. You can order food and wine, different things there. Also an entertainment section for your kids. If you're traveling with kids, they do have some kids shows and games available as well. Good morning. We have made it to Lisbon, Portugal. So here we have about a 3.5 hour layover and then just an 1.5 hour flight to Barcelona. So we'll be there soon. I'm so tired, but so excited to be here. It's kind of warm in this airport though, so I got to find some coffee and breakfast. Grab something to eat. They have a lot of American options like Starbucks, McDonald's, but of course I'm not going to try that. So let's see. Oh, clothing store looks like everything's on sale. But let's see what we can find to eat. I see a little pastry shop here. It's really warm in this airport though. Found coffee. They only have Nespresso, which is right up my alley. That's all I drink at home. Okay, got a sandwich and an apple tart. No, that's an almond tart. Cheryl got an apple tart and Nespresso. Now Cheryl doesn't like the Nespresso. She said it's too strong for her. But yeah, the sandwich would probably be better if it was heated, as it was complete chaos over there. Just the way they were ordering food. So yeah, it takes some adjustment when you step into a new country. I just stood there and I was patient, and it took a little bit, but we have our food we're gonna eat and catch our layover here in about, what, an hour and a half or so? So our sisters, we were not sure if they made their layover. Our flight was a little bit delayed getting in. They only had an hour and a half layover. We can't get a hold of them, so I'm hoping that they're on their flight, that they're making their way to Barcelona. They booked their flights later than we did, and so they had the option to get to Barcelona a couple hours sooner, and that was the option they took. So I'm hoping that they're on their flight, so fingers crossed, but we're almost to Barcelona. Now this is good. It's an almond tart. It's kind of cake cornbread like with almonds, like glazed almonds on top. That is so good. Goes well with coffee. It's more cake than tart. All right, we made it to Barcelona. We are here. It is almost 7:30 p.m. So back home it would be 1:30 p.m. So I feel refreshed. I had a good nap there on the plane. So yeah, excited. We're here. We're gonna head to the hotel. Oh, and just to update, my sisters did not make their flight, but they were able to get added to ours. Sounds like their flight was extremely delayed, but they weren't updated at all. So they were able to get it changed. Then as we were boarding, they got notification that their original flight was delayed. So kind of worked out for the best. Hopefully their baggage made it on our flight, so we'll see. All right, just a word of caution that the Ubers and ride sharing systems in Barcelona work a little bit differently than in the US. We were thankful that there was a driver readily available to take us to our hotel, but you may want to pre-arrange shuttle service or a driver in advance because the Ubers work differently. So Hotel Radha is a boutique hotel. Now, I will let you know that this is about a 15-minute ride from the airport, as well as a 15-minute ride to the cruise terminal. It is not in the city center of Barcelona, so you will have to either drive or catch an Uber or have some sort of driving service to get you where you need to be, especially if you plan to visit the city center. But we found these accommodations to be very reasonable. It was about $220 for one night for 4 guests. These are 2 king/queen size beds. They're slightly smaller than a standard king, but they do fit up to 4 guests in this particular room. They have a quadruple rooms, they have single rooms, they have double rooms, and there's only about 13 to 14 rooms in this entire hotel. But again, reasonably priced, very clean. The few things that I would advise you of would be to make sure you pack a European outlet, as well as if you are in a double room, the showers or the restrooms there are made out of glass, so you can peek in to see who's in the restroom. And also be sure to pack your own washcloths because they do not have any available at this hotel, and that's very common in Europe. And another nice thing about this hotel is that it is very close to a bunch of different cafes and bars and restaurants. So you are within walking distance to those areas. You just aren't in the city center. But overall, we enjoyed our time at Radha Hotel and we'd stay there again. All right, we are all checked into our hotel. It is 9 o'clock. We're gonna get something to eat. Now, Hotel Radha does have a lot of different bars and cafes and things in the area, so we're just gonna find a spot here and eat. So yeah, right, guys, so Hotel Radha, I think we paid about $220 for one night, but as you see, it seats 4 people, so we just shared that cost, so not bad. There are a lot of different cafes and restaurants just right here, like literally across the street. We're here at Bar La Rosa Blanca. I don't know what I ordered. I went in, I was going to order like croquettes and I can't think of the name. And I asked the guy, he was like, no, don't get that. And I said, well, I want to try something that I haven't had before. So he recommended his favorite sandwich, or it's like a wrap. So we'll try that. And then we're going to call it a night. I mean, it's been a long travel day, but excited to get something to eat. I'm so thankful our hotel is like literally right back there. So we didn't have to walk far at all. So in the morning, we're going to be catching an Uber. As you guys know, we're cruising tomorrow. So we're going to be catching an Uber from over here, but they'll probably get up and get some breakfast or stop by a cafe, get some coffee at least or something. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's right here across from the hotel. So I can't say yet if I recommend Hotel Radha. We'll see how tonight goes. But for the price, and like I said, we shared the cost for 4 people. You really can't beat that considering some of the pricing that we had. So I was looking at other hotels near the airport and you're looking at like $200 a night for just 2 people. We paid a little more than that for 4. So, and it's a little boutique hotel. I think it had 13 or 14 rooms, different sizes. So I think we had the largest room available. So not bad at all. I do love that it's right here and you have different options, but we're gonna get our food and eat and shower and we're going to bed. So yeah, it's been a busy day. So this sandwich that I ordered, it's delicious. I asked him if I needed 1 or 2, and I had to explain, is it gonna fill my belly, fill me up? He said he eats 2. I said, give me 2. Guys, these things are huge, look. There's 1. There's the second one. So this one is steak. It's really good. This one is chicken. So I'm gonna eat a little bit of this one and a little bit of that one. All right, guys, I have to take a quick pause while I'm editing this video just to share with you guys. I thought I vlogged it, but apparently I did not. But we did have an issue at this restaurant where my sister Cheryl, her phone was actually stolen by one of the guys working the counter. So she went in to order, left her phone on the counter. Literally 30 seconds after she left it, she went back in for it and she asked if he had seen her phone. He told her no. And so we're like, oh my gosh, somebody took her phone. So we're trying to track it. Well, it kept pinging right there at the location. So long story short is she contacted her son. He wound up calling her cell phone. Just as I was going back in to ask the guy if he had seen it again, her phone rang. And the look of shock on his face was shocking, but it was also hilarious. He had placed her phone under the counter. So I'm telling you this because, you know, I've heard stories of being in Barcelona with pickpockets and things. Be sure to protect your belongings. Keep your phones on you at all times. Just play it safe because like I said, this happened at the restaurant that we were actually dining at. Did not expect that, but we did address it with the guy. And of course, he tried to play it off like he did not, but we know what the deal was. So just word of caution, protect your things. Look out for pickpockets. Wear anti-theft bags if you have them. Be sure not to carry, you know, money, valuables, things like that in your pockets, but just play it safe. right, good morning guys. It is cruise day. Have my sisters here. We are in Barcelona, Spain, and we're preparing to get on board MSC Grandiosa for a 7-day cruise, going to 3 different stops in Italy. We'll be in Northern Africa and Marseille, France. So guys, be sure to stick around for this adventure. This is our very first Mediterranean cruise, very first time in Europe. Super excited. We are preparing to head to the cruise terminal, but right now we're gonna grab coffee and a pastry from somewhere. I think this spot might be open. Our hotel's right there. There's cafes and bars all over here. So we're staying at Hotel Radha. I did do a quick video on that, so check that out. I definitely recommend it. The price was right. Clean room, so it worked, served its purpose, but we're gonna grab something to eat. Then we are headed to the cruise terminal. So as you guys can see, we're still sitting here in our hotel. We had Uber, hold on, looking at my phone. We had Uber reserved scheduled to take us to the cruise terminal. We had to do it through 2 different accounts because of our luggage. My sister had a driver assigned, I didn't, and we reserved this at least 2 months ago. We wound up canceling it because it looked like it was cheaper to just go ahead and schedule an Uber out. Now we can't get an Uber, so they have an app called Cabify or Cabify. It's C-A-B-I-F-Y. Sounds like that's what they use here in Barcelona, but it is not working right now to give me the push notification to my phone number. So yeah, we got to figure out how we're going to get to the cruise ship at this point. I don't know if we just need to go to the street and try to hail a taxi or not, but it looks like they use Uber for their taxi service, but I'm gonna look around and see if maybe there's another app or something. So definitely plan that out. I thought we had it planned out well, but I don't know how reliable Uber is here, but we'll let you guys know. I'm gonna see what else, if we can find maybe another taxi app or something so we can get to the cruise terminal. But it's a good thing we started our transition to the cruise terminal early because we really weren't. It says now you can complete the request. Now it's telling me my minimum waiting time is over. Now that your minimum waiting time has been completed, you can travel with Uber. What does that mean? Did you get that, Gina? Minimum waiting time. Now it did require that I put my passport number in there. So I wonder if maybe once I put my passport number in there, maybe there was a verification period. Let me try it. Let me go ahead and see if we can schedule an Uber. All right, so we have an Uber on the way. We have an Uber, we have an Uber van. So I was doing some research and it looks like, it says here that the ride hailing services in Barcelona require at least a 15-minute advance wait. So you schedule your Uber and then you have to, oh, the driver canceled, but you, guys, this is happening in real time. Oh, hold on, we got somebody else coming. Dang, hold on, but it says he's not arriving for another 25 minutes. So as you can see, Uber just is not the most reliable. So if you're staying in an area that has cruise ship shuttle, I would recommend that. We're about 15 minutes away from the cruise terminal. We probably could go outside and find a taxi, but yeah, I don't think there's a bus or a shuttle. There is a cruise ship shuttle, like if you're in the downtown Barcelona area or the center of Barcelona, they do have one there. And I think it's €3. That'll take you to the cruise ship terminal from there, but we're not in that area. So yeah, maybe be strategic on where you're staying, because right now where we're staying, and I don't know the exact neighborhood or area we're in, we're having difficulties trying to get a Uber, but it looks like we have one and it's going to be a little bit of a wait, but we'll get there. And we're actually early. So the thing about MSC is you don't get to assign or select your own arrival time. They select it for you. We each have different arrival appointment times. But we're just going to show up, and if they have an issue, which I don't think they will, I've never really had an issue with MSC with that, but you know, we booked as a group. We have individual cabins, but we're all linked, so we should have the same arrival time. Doesn't make sense for us to be different hours. So We have about a 20-minute wait. We'll see. Hopefully this Uber driver doesn't cancel on us. If not, we'll have to figure out a plan B. So stay tuned. All right, we got an Uber. Our hotel receptionist said they're not reliable. He said he would call us a taxi, but this guy showed up. So we all fit in a van. So we are here. We are all checked in, and guys, I love it because we get to get right on the ship, so there's no waiting. There's people actually off exploring. I don't know if I mentioned before that when you're cruising Mediterranean, it's like it's on and off each port, so you have some people embarking and disembarking at each port. So there wasn't like a line or anything. We literally just checked in. It was all of 5 minutes, and we're able to get on the ship, so super excited. Now, we did not adhere to our check-in times. Like I said, we all had different. We had 11, 12, 1, and 2. So we got here by 11, and we're all coming together. Huh?
You're looking at me.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so we are. I have some admirers, and I'm blushing. So, but no, we're about to get on the ship, and yeah. So very quick process. Now this is something I haven't seen. I have not seen a duty-free shop inside a cruise terminal, but they have duty-free shops, and you can pick up souvenirs right here. We are headed to the ship. Woo-hoo. And they're getting off the ship.
Right.
All right, here we go. MSC Grandiosa. All right, so we have specialty dining packages, so we're gonna go ahead and get reserved before the crowd. When you get on with MSC, if you don't pre-register a credit card, you can go to the cruise card activation station. And this is where you would activate a card so you can make online purchases. You have to register a card or put cash on there. Here in Europe, they're requiring $250. No, actually, I think that's across the board. 7-night cruise, it's $250 credit card authorization. You get that back at the end of the cruise if you didn't spend it. If you spend over that, they're going to keep authorizing additional $100 just to make sure you have the funds available. If you use a debit card, pretty much the same scenario, or you can add cash here at the activation station. So we gotta go to B. All right, so they use smart elevators on this ship. So you press, and actually you're supposed to press it multiple times if you have multiple people in your party. That way the elevator knows how many people will be on, and you won't get a full elevator. But we're headed up to deck 15 for. You have to press it outside. Okay. 15. First meal of the cruise. Of course, I got pizza, a little bit of pasta, some deli meats, and fresh mozzarella. So MSC, they make their mozzarella fresh on board. And as you see, I'm sitting here, always the back of the buffet, because people always like to stop at the front of the buffet to eat. If you come to the back, you're going to find plenty of space. But again, what I love is that this is a port day for other guests. So they're off the ship and enjoying Barcelona. So right now it's not busy at all. So really enjoying that. But yeah, got lunch and we're gonna eat. Thank you. All right, and something else I didn't realize, my sister brought this to my attention. The soft drinks over here taste different. And she's mentioned that they remove some of the chemicals and some of the things that we probably shouldn't drink. But they just don't taste good to me. So like I've had Pepsi, Coke, 7-Up, and they all just taste like they're have a lot of Splenda or a lot of like the alternative sugars. They just don't taste good to me. So if you are a soda drinker, which I'm really not, just know that they're going to taste a little bit different here. So it'll be quite a few fruit punches this cruise and less Coke. But they have Pepsi on board, so Pepsi products on board. Did you have Pepsi? Yes. Okay. Alright, we are pretty much situated. Guys, if you watch my MSC Divina and my MSC Meraviglia series, you know that MSC does things a little bit differently as far as when you get on board. So if you have specialty dining, if you have things like that, you actually have to make those reservations once you get on board. So we did that. If you reserve any of the Cirque du Soleil shows, you also have to, like, you purchase it online, but you have to actually reserve your times once you get on the ship. So make sure you take care of all of that as soon as you can, because things fill up. Now with us embarking in Barcelona and people have already been on the ship, a lot of the dining times were already reserved. So I think it looks a little bit different over here in the Mediterranean. You know, in the US, when you get on the ship, everyone's getting on the ship the same day. I absolutely love the staggered getting on the ship and off the ship, because like things aren't busy right now. So I appreciate that. But yeah, just know that you're gonna have to reserve your shows. Actually, on this ship, the app is a little more useful than on Divina and Meraviglia. So like I can reserve the stage shows on my app. The drink package, I did not have to activate. Wi-Fi, I did not have to activate. So that's a plus, because on Divina and Meraviglia, I had to get those things activated. So I think MSC is coming along as far as working through some of their glitches and some of their procedures that aren't necessarily, you know, efficient, I should say. So they're working through that, it seems. But so far things have been okay. We're gonna get up and explore the pool deck. Our cabins will be ready at 2 o'clock. And be sure you stay tuned for this cabin tour, because this cabin, it's a very unique cabin. It'll be my very first time staying in one of these cabins. So definitely stay tuned for that. Sure. Thank you. Getting some sangria.
Yeah, just one menu, one by one.
Thank you.
We asked if you only wanted one.
Little extra for a little extra.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Everybody else?
Thank you.
Enjoy.
So guys, I got so excited for the pistachio ice cream. It's $3.50. It's $3.50. So no soft serve. Not free anyways. Wow, that's a disappointment. I was so excited when I saw the pistachio. But it's $3.50 for a soft serve ice cream cone. That is different. In the US, it's not a cost. It's complimentary. So yeah, well. Alright, so you probably noticed that we have not gone to muster. Usually I go to muster as soon as we get on board, but because this is a staggered port or a staggered cruise where people are getting on and off at each port, they have a designated time for you to do your muster. So ours is at 4:30. I believe it's just like the other ships where you started off in your cabin on your television, and then it'll tell you to go down to your assembly station. So like I would normally have it done by now, but we have to wait for 4:30. All right, here we are. We're on board MSC Grandiosa for our very first Mediterranean cruise. I'm staying in cabin 10208, which is a solo studio interior cabin. As you can tell, this cabin is extremely small, but very functional. As you see, it does accommodate one guest, although it has a double bed there. It does not have a USB port or anything by the bed, but as you see, there are shelves and different things there. You have closets, a safe, drawers and things there, mini bar, have your vanity, ice buckets. There is a Zoe, I think it's how you pronounce it, Zoe machine there. Very similar to Alexa. Have a telephone, again, your bed, very functional, television, full-length mirror, trash can. I don't know why we have a magazine rack here, but we have a magazine rack. You need to make sure you keep your cruise card here to keep the lights and AC activated. Makeup room, do not disturb room, thermostat, and you have the restroom here. Now this restroom is your standard size restroom on board MSC. So it's nice to know that even in a studio cabin that you have a regular size restroom. So Very functional. It does the trick and it saves money. It's a very cool cabin for solo cruisers. So just so you understand, for this cruise, I paid $540 for this studio cabin. Comes with drinks and Wi-Fi. Now, you save a lot of money if you can find a studio cabin or a solo cabin because, hold on, let me turn this guy off for a second. There we go, he was talking. So you save money if you can get booked into a studio cabin, if it's available. They're very rare on the ships, there's only a few. And so like a standard interior at the time of booking was $1,700 for 2 guests. That did include drinks and Wi-Fi. I have my 3 sisters here with me, and we decided to do the solo cabin so we each have our own personal space, and it saved us money because $540 times 2 is what, $1,080. And so we saved $620 or so by doing it this way. So again, the space is smaller than your standard cabin, but it is extremely functional. It will work, especially since we're at our itinerary is very port intensive. We have 5 ports over 7 days. We're not going to be in the cabin much anyway. So save money, get a studio cabin. They do have ocean view and balcony cabins as well, so look for those, but we saved a lot of money doing it this way. All right, so waiting on luggage to get delivered so we can get cleaned and things situated. But yeah, we're ready to enjoy this cruise. All right, so something about MSC that has not changed, it's all the paper. So they have the app, they have technology, but for whatever reason they still put like the daily activities and excursion tickets and different things in the cabins. So expect to get that every single day. You'll have a stack of papers. I think that's what the magazine rack is for. So yeah, lots of information there, especially when you first board your cruise. So be sure, especially if you're a new cruiser, to read through that information. It's going to give you some valuable stuff to know about the ship, about things to expect. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, still waiting on luggage. It has not arrived yet. Also know that your luggage, it's possible that your luggage may not arrive until later in the evening. So I'm used to kind of being in the cabin or close to the cabin by the time, you know, I'm in the cabin, but sometimes it doesn't happen until 4:30. So keep that in mind. So pack smartly, make sure you have, you know, things that you need in your whatever bag you're carrying on the ship if you want to change, freshen up, that kind of thing, because some cruises you could be without your luggage for some time. So yeah, I think I'm about to go off and explore more of this ship. Now this ship is the sister ship to MSC Meraviglia, and I was just on that ship back in March of this year. So be sure to check that vlog series out. That was the entire family. We had a really good time. So this ship is about 3 years newer than MSC Meraviglia. I don't think there are any changes to this ship. I think the deck plan, everything is still the same as far as what I've seen. So gonna probably go find something to drink. We do have the drinks included and Wi-Fi included with our package, and just explore the ship some more while we wait on our luggage. So yeah, if you are new to our channel, I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and if you don't know, I'm on board MSC Grandiosa. This is for my 40th birthday cruise. I was planning to do a solo cruise, but my sisters decided to join me. Wanted to try something different. I have never visited the Mediterranean and figured why not do it on a cruise. So this is my 40th birthday cruise, so I'm going to enjoy myself. So I will have quite a few fruit punches, so just know that this is not, it'll still be family friendly vlog, but just know I might have a few fruit punches. But yeah, about to head out the cabin and see what we see. Alright, gonna get a massage tester. Yeah, go ahead and take advantage, Gina. So we're sitting here at the Safari Bar. This is the bar pool area that has the retractable roof, so they'll put that down and make it, you know, air conditioned or enclosed if it's cold or, you know, too hot or rainy. But we were down in the Aria Spa. We all have the thermal pass, and with the thermal pass, different on this ship than other MSC ships, you have to schedule your thermal spa sessions. So it's not just like come and go as you please. You have to actually schedule those. Now you can go multiple times because it's unlimited. So we're going to schedule out, or we started scheduling out every day. You can go multiple times each day. They just want to limit capacity in the spa. So we are booked for later tonight, tomorrow, what have you. They also offer 50% off massages, which are really nice because the massages on MSC are not what I would consider terribly expensive. They had deep tissue for an hour for 112 euros, and you get 50% off of that. So I don't know, I might take advantage. This is my birthday cruise after all, so I might take advantage and do that. But you have to do it. They have certain hours today for that. I'm hoping they have another deal. They said today's the only day, but you know, they always say that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're just here now, Safari Pool. It's 4 o'clock here, so we have a couple hours before dinner. Hopefully our luggage will be in our cabin in a few minutes or here shortly so we can get unpacked before dinner. But yeah, so far so good. We're enjoying it.
That's mine? Oh, thank you. One is yours. The other one is this side.
Thank you.
You need to take a water?
We have a water because it's
So you just need yours?
Yes, I just water, please. Is it strong? All right, got the cabin all together. We are going to Hola Tacos tonight. That is a specialty dining option. Now, we did do the 3. Now, one thing about MSC is they don't have a whole lot of dining options per se that are included. They have the buffet, main dining room. That's really it. So if you want a variety, you're going to have to do some sort of specialty dining. Yeah, you're going to have to do some sort of specialty dining package. Otherwise, you're eating the same thing over and over. They're reasonably priced. And when you think about the cost of your cruise, it's kind of like they just didn't build that into your cruise. So our 3 specialty dining was $71, and you get 3 specialty dining options. They have an unlimited one. It was about $149, I believe, and you can use that for breakfast, lunch, and for lunch and dinner. So consider that when you cruise with MSC, because again, limited options. But the specialty dining that I've had on the other ships, really good. So I'm excited to go to Hola Tacos and some of the other options during this cruise. So we're gonna get something to eat. sail away party going on. I don't know why they brought it inside, but it's here. Yeah. Alright guys, back in the cabin. It's been a very eventful day. Exhausted. It is after 10 o'clock. About to go to bed. A couple of things though. Let's see. The spa. So we had spa passes, and I'm sharing this with you. That way you can take into consideration some of the things I'm going to share before you buy your spa package or buy the thermal pass. So we have the thermal pass, and I'll put a clip here, but with the spa, you have to, it's not very accessible. So if you have like any joint issues, any thing with getting up or down types of things, it could be kind of challenging. So like for me personally, I've had shoulder surgery, elbow surgery, things going on here, so I don't really have any strength there. So just trying to get in and out of things just was not conducive for our party. So we did speak to someone in the spa just to ask, is it possible to get a credit or a refund for our spa pass, because it just was not, we don't feel like we'll take advantage of it because of those limitations. And kind of got, we were kind of given the runaround. They're going to try to resolve it tomorrow, but we were told we had to cancel. Like anything you purchase before you get on the cruise, you have to cancel online, but you really can't cancel online once your cruise starts. So we're trying to get that resolved. It's a beautiful spa. It's just not, like I said, if you have any mobility challenges or, just getting up and down, moving around, that kind of thing, it's not very comfortable. We also had issues though with like the water level. The water level was kind of low, wasn't very warm. So it just was not, like I said, beautiful. It just was not what we thought it would be on the ship. So we're hoping we get a refund. We'll see how that works. So just keep that in mind, that if you pre-purchase things with MSC, it's not like other cruise lines where you can just go to guest services and ask for a refund and they give you onboard credit or credit it back to your card on file. It doesn't work that way. You have to go through some loopholes to try to make that happen. And they're going to tell you that if you bought it online, if you booked it through a travel agent, that they have to cancel this and that. You guys know I'm a travel agent, and that's not accurate, because once you're on board, our systems are locked. You cannot cancel or do anything. So just sharing that with you. Hola Tacos, we went to Hola Tacos. It was very tasty, but the setup for Hola Tacos was very different on this ship than it was on MSC Meraviglia. Very small tapas or very small plates. So keep that in mind, that you might want to order multiple. It is all you can eat, but the tacos were like 2 bites, maybe a bite and a half. Very tasty, just was not very filling. So again, that is included with the specialty dining package if it's one of the options you select. But overall, today's been a great day. Oh, casino. The casino, everything's in euros. I just don't know whether casinos aren't popular on these types of cruises. There weren't many people in there at all, maybe 15 people in the whole casino. And we tried our luck, couldn't get anything. So we are done with the casino for this cruise. So again, I have to do research to find out if this is just something maybe, here in the Mediterranean, gambling is not a big thing. Where I know like on a Caribbean cruise, the casino is usually jam-packed. But yeah, so we are calling it a night. It's been a really good day. The ship is beautiful. We're having a good time. Tomorrow is a sea day, so we'll be on board for our sea day. We already have some plans for some things for tomorrow, so be sure to stay tuned for our sea day. And following that, we are in 5 different ports, so we're super excited for that. So be sure to like this video, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Turn that notification bell on, because we might go live or do some things here soon with some other upcoming cruises. But yeah, it's been great. I'm gonna give the family a call, because back home right now it is just 4:30, I think. So I'm gonna give them a call and check in with them. Then I'm calling it a night. So till tomorrow, I'll see you guys, and tomorrow's sea day, so be sure to stick around. See you guys. clicking on this video. Join us major sisters on board MSC Grandiosa in the Mediterranean as we spend our one and only sea day relaxing, eating, and taking in all of the views. Morning, guys. It is day 2. We are on board. All right, so guys, sorry about that. But the reason I was so caught off was at that moment as I was recording, a lady literally took her dirty plate and placed it on my table. We ran into quite a few situations on board where people were just flat out rude. Never ever experienced anything like that on a cruise before, but it took me a second to regain my composure. She did, or her husband actually did, take it off my table once he saw the way I looked at her. And had she not moved her plate off my table, I don't know what would have happened, guys, but it really caught me off guard. But let's get back to the video. All right, good morning. It is day 2 on board MSC Grandiosa. We are up bright and early this morning. It's 7:30. It's a sea day, and we want to take advantage of the pools and jacuzzi. So we decided to get up early to eat, take advantage of the jacuzzi pool, kind of roam the ship a little bit, and then rest. Tonight is formal night, so we have some activities planners, some things on the agenda. So if you're new to our channel, I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures. Thanks for clicking on this video. I'm here in the Mediterranean for the very first time with my sisters, celebrating my 40th birthday. So super excited to be on board. Very first Mediterranean cruise. This is my 3rd or 4th cruise with MSC. So far things have been great. So downstairs having some breakfast, and the only thing is they don't have cream or creamer for the coffee. I don't know if that's just how they roll in the Mediterranean, but right now I'm drinking my coffee black. You guys know I have to have my coffee in the morning, so we'll have to figure out this cream situation. But having breakfast right now with some beautiful ocean views, and then we're gonna be out and about. So they don't have cream on the buffet. You have to actually order specialty coffee. So they use, like, they have an espresso, which is right up my alley. My sister's not liking that because she wants regular cream. So you have to order that. If you have a drink package, it is included. So that's what I just ordered. All right, guys, so I'll be very honest with you. Considering that this was a very port-intensive itinerary, we honestly didn't even get to see some of the ship, and we did not highlight some of the kid areas on board, such as like the water slides and the kid splash area. We didn't even see those areas on the ship, and I think it's because we weren't traveling with kids, but there are plenty of activities on board MSC ships for families. They do have water slides, the kids area, they have a ropes course. Of course, you see here they have a racing simulator, they have bowling alley, all kinds of activities for the family. So although it's not highlighted in this vlog, you can check our other MSC series to check those things out. But it is very kid friendly, very family oriented. I highly recommend MSC for the family. to get in the jacuzzi for a little bit. It's pretty empty. As you see, there's just one person in it. There's also indoor jacuzzi, a couple of them, but we're gonna hang out now while it's still kind of cool out, because it's gonna get hot, and this pool deck is gonna get pretty packed. Alright, so we relaxed in the jacuzzi for quite some time. Now the jacuzzis are like lukewarm, but they had some very strong jets, so I found one that really got my lower back really good. But the pool deck is filling up. It is 9:40. The pool deck is filling up. We found a shaded spot here. We're gonna just relax until MasterChef starts. They have a MasterChef competition. It's cute. It's like a trivia, and then they'll invite 3 people to come up on stage based on trivia score, and they'll like decorate something. But you can win like a MasterChef apron and hat, things like that. So we're gonna go to that. There's really not a whole lot going on today. Keep in mind, MSC is more of a cruise that you're gonna relax, especially on these sea days. Not a whole lot going on. So. Guys know I love me a shaded spot, so they do have some tables. We were debating whether we were going to stay inside and just kind of people watch and do some work and stuff. But it's nice out. The sun here, the heat here is different, absolutely different than the Caribbean. So it's warm right now, but it's a cool breeze, so it's really nice right now. I don't know if it's going to warm up much more, but it's going to be really hot tomorrow. There's like some sort of heat wave going on in Italy right now, so hopefully it's not too hot, but yeah, so we're just enjoying it. It's a sea day. We're relaxing, having a few fruit punches, and and we're gonna head to MasterChef here in a little bit. I'm gonna get a little bit of work done though while I'm sitting here. So guys, apparently there was some sort of physical altercation that happened regarding a day bed on the pool deck. I'm sharing this because you hear a lot of things about Carnival Cruise Line and having issues, but it can happen on any cruise line. Personally, I've cruised on at least 20 Carnival ships and have yet to see anything like this. But the security guard just allowed them to kind of argue and be in each other's face for at least 30 minutes. So it was kind of ironic to see, but just shows you that it can happen anywhere. So this is the welcome back party, the captain's welcome back party. Hello. What kind of drink?
This one is a Prosecco, this one is fruit punch, madam. Fruit punch is no alcohol.
No alcohol?
Yeah.
Alcohol? What's that?
This alcohol,
I'll do
Prosecco.
fruit punch. Prosecco. So we're here for MasterChef. If you watch my MSC Grandiosa series, I kind of highlighted MasterChef. I'm not going to show a whole bunch on this vlog, but it's not quite MasterChef. It is sponsored by MasterChef, but it's more like trivia. So you'll have about 10 questions, and what they do is like culinary questions, and then they take your papers, they'll grade them, and then they'll take the top 3 scores to come on stage. If there is a tie, then they do a drawing. But you go on stage and they'll have something already set up, like some sort of food items already set up, and you're to create something or decorate it. And then they have judges that'll come out to taste and to look at it. And then from there, whoever wins, they win like a MasterChef apron, some MasterChef items. So it's cute. I liked it on the last cruise, so we're back for it. We're gonna see maybe if one of us can get on stage. But yeah, we're here. There's not a whole lot going on today. We spent quite a bit of time at the pool area. It is currently almost noon, so probably after this, we're just gonna wander around, maybe see what they have on the buffet for lunch. And then we have formal night tonight, so I am going to take a nap tonight because, again, this is a very port intensive itinerary. So after today, we don't have any more sea days. It's port after port, so 5 days of ports. So yeah, want to take advantage of resting and getting ready for all the excursions and things that we have coming up. So today's just a chill day. So we're here for MasterChef. Probably will get something to eat. I'm gonna take a nap and get ready for formal night. So we're here now. I'm not gonna highlight all of this, but I'll show you guys a little bit of MasterChef.
Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. Mesdames y bonjour à vous tous. Meine Damen und Herren, guten Morgen, damas y caballeros, muy buenos días, signore e signori. Buongiorno a tutti. Partiamo con l'italiano. Italiani presenti al teatro, mi alzate la manina. Bene, vi spiego come funziona MasterChef. Prima parte dell'attività sarà Días a todos, vamos empezando nuestro trivia, nuestro MasterChef. Primera parte, un trivia, un quiz. Tenemos 10 preguntas para ustedes. No me tiene que escribir toda la respuesta.
I don't know if we'll be able to play or not. We'll see.
Escribe solamente número 1, número 2 o número 3. Muy bien, los 6 que gana el quiz llega aquí en el escenario. ¿Ça va?
Oh, he's saying it in all of the languages. So Gina, he's saying it in all the languages, the same thing. So yeah, so that makes the shows really long, but I like that they accommodate.
Vous avez 3 options pour répondre. Il ne faut pas tout écrire parce que la réponse va être 1. What ratio of flour and butter is used to make short crust pastry? Che rapporto di farina e burro si utilizza per preparare la pasta frolla? In welchen Veraltris Verden correct answer. 10 risposte esatte.
I got 7 out of 10.
Abbiamo 10 risposte esatte, una 10 questions di réponse corretta avec 3 personnes. Let's start. Crepe, salty crepe and profiterol. Loro prepareranno delle crepe salate e Giuliana e Vanessa.
So something to note, the photo package. If you purchase the photo package with MSC, you have to go to the photo lab to actually activate it. Again, this goes back to, I've said this before, that MSC just has some processes in place that they need to update. So I have the unlimited digital package, so I should be able to download those on my phone. And I couldn't figure it out, so I had to go there. They said, oh, you have it, but we have to activate it. Then they gave me a QR code to use to scan to find the photos. So if you get a photo package, you have to go to the photo lab to get that activated. But I think if you already have it and it's not digital, and they're printed, they'll print them out and kind of have them ready for you to view. So we're having lunch. It's pretty busy. It's a sea day. It's busy. We're sitting at the front. You guys know I usually go to the back, but we kind of stopped here because there was a table. It's pretty busy. Tonight, again, it's formal night. There's a very limited menu for dinner tonight. So I'm kind of like, maybe we should have done specialty dining. So we'll see what tonight holds as far as dinner. But we're kind of like just at a standstill out here in the ocean. Not a whole lot of movement. So yeah, we're gonna eat and I'm gonna take a nap and we'll be ready for formal night. And guys, by the way, I'm not gonna eat all those desserts. They just had like a grand buffet of a whole bunch of desserts. And I'm like, well, I'll get these and see. There's probably at least 1 or 2 things that I actually will like. So I'm gonna give it a try. All right, so we are here for formal night. Guys, as you see, I am formal today. I never get formal on a cruise because I did it because our last MSC cruise, people got formal. They were in tuxes and nice dresses and gowns and things. And I said, you know what? This is my 40th birthday cruise. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to be formal. Well, looks like over here in the Mediterranean, formal night is more like dress your best like I normally would do. So we kind of reverse roles. So I think that's pretty funny. But we are here for formal night. We're going to get some pictures and we're going to head to dinner. Are you taking my picture with my ice cube? Y'all tell my sister she's not supposed to put ice cubes in her red wine.
Yes, I am.
Guys, so dinner in the main dining room. It's kind of been a miss tonight. We had ravioli, so they make their pasta fresh on board, but it was just undercooked. It tastes all right. It was like a short rib, and it was like a gravy sauce. It wasn't bad. It just was undercooked, and Gina and Ebony had fish, so kind of not so good. So we'll probably go to the buffet a little bit later. The buffet has been pretty decent, so we'll check that out in a little bit. We are here in the Carousel Lounge for Strings, which is a Cirque du Soleil show. It's $12. It is an upcharge, and you get a drink included. We have the drink package, so it doesn't really make a difference, but yeah, so we're here. So the strings show was really good. I think it was better than the show we saw on MSC Meraviglia. Again, it's $12 if you pre-purchase it. I think it's $15 if you don't. But it was really good. We really enjoyed that. But we're here at the buffet to see what else they might have to eat. Dinner just wasn't that good in the main dining room, so we're gonna see what else they have here. Back in the cabin, and I have on my bed the daily program for tomorrow, as well as my excursion tickets. Tomorrow we are in LaGoulette, Tunisia, and I also have an MSC bag. That is, if you are a Voyagers Club member, if you're gold or higher, then you get certain perks, certain gifts and things. So that is my gift for returning back to MSC. But yes, tomorrow we are in LaGoulette, Tunisia. We have an excursion that's going to take us through Sidi Bou Said, I think that's how you say it, to go shopping and to just take a look at the town or city of Tunis. And so we will be pretty much off the ship most of the day. I think our excursion is from 10 a.m. to 3:30, so be sure to stick around for that. Today was a great sea day. Relaxed, took naps, just enjoyed it. Wasn't a whole lot of activities going on, but sometimes you just need a cruise where, you know, you're not just bouncing from activity to activity. And that's the kind of cruise you're going to get with MSC. There's going to be activities, but it's not a whole lot on a sea day. It's a lot of relaxation. So I don't mind that at all. But I'm exhausted. I'm going to get out this dress. So you guys be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow. We have our first port of this cruise. Again, I'm on board MSC Grandiosa, and we have 5 ports coming up. So be sure to put that notification bell on, because we have some excursions booked for every port, and it's going to be a great time. So first time over here, super excited. Can't wait to get off tomorrow. So stay tuned. I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, that rope back there. Both. Thank you for clicking on this video. Join us Major Sisters on board MSC Grandiosa in the Mediterranean as we explore the beautiful port of LaGoulette, Tunisia for the first time. Good morning, guys. I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures. We are on board MSC Grandiosa here in the Mediterranean. We are approaching LaGoulette, Tunisia, and this is our first port for this sailing. We're down having breakfast. We have an excursion this morning, so we got up early to kind of beat the crowd. The buffets tend to be pretty crowded here on MSC, so we got up a little bit early. It's 7:30, so we're gonna have breakfast. Our excursion time is 10 a.m., so we have a little bit of time to relax, but yeah, we're approaching Tunisia. So excited for this, very first time in the Mediterranean, so super excited. So be sure to follow this adventure, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and join us today in Tunisia. So guys, just a couple of things about Mediterranean cruise, MSC. The cultures are different. What we would consider rude, it's still kind of rude. You have people cutting you at the buffet. They like stare at you. So, you know, you gotta kind of pack your patience and understanding, because Yeah, you get stairs, you get people just cutting. I had to block someone this morning. Yesterday, I literally had a lady, I was eating. She took her dirty dish and put it on my table. So I gave her, I know, a dirty look, and her husband took it off my table. So cultures are very different. I don't know if I want to say it's just flat out rude. In our culture, we would say, yeah, it's rude. So expect that. Also expect a lot of pastries and carbs for breakfast. There's very little protein. There's bacon and sausage and eggs, but there's a ton of cakes and pastries and croissants and things. So if you are like me and I like more of a protein-based breakfast, it's gonna be a little struggle. So just a few tips for you. It's a little different, not necessarily bad, but different. We're here in the theater, so this is the meeting point for all excursions. On your ticket, it'll have a bus number, so they're calling by bus numbers to go up. We're kind of early. Our meeting time is 10 a.m., so I'm thinking these are all the earlier excursions, but they've started calling people. So this is your meeting point if you book an excursion through MSC, and I highly recommend maybe consider doing that for this type of cruise, at least for your first one. We have no clue what we're getting into, and it just felt safer to book it through MSC. Make sure we get back to the ship on time, things like that. And this is an industrial port, so it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot right there in port to do. So I don't know if this is a spot where you would get off the ship and actually just wander. So So guys, we're waiting in the theater for our excursion number to be called, and it's like some of the staff, they are, they know a bunch of different languages. Like yesterday, MasterChef, the host that did that, was speaking 6 different languages. The one that's currently here, it seems like he's only speaking Italian. And maybe some French, and so he's not making any announcements in English. So just have your Google Translate or whatever up if you don't speak another language, so you know which number they're calling for your bus, because it seems like he knows a little bit of English, and he's waiting until like he's called all the buses, and then he'll say in English, we've called buses 16 through 52. But if you had like number 16, there's a chance your bus could already be gone or already full by the time you get out there, because they're not announcing it, or at least this guy isn't.
Okay, good morning one
Here we
more
go.
time. To all of the newly arrived guests, please double check if you have with you your individual cruise card to get in and out of the ship.
So he's making that announcement in English, but when he calls the numbers, he's not.
And your immigration card already filled up, okay? And also check if you have cartagine.
First time in Tunisia, and this is Northern Africa if you're not familiar. Yeah, very steep ramp.
Enter that bus terminal. They have this control, immigration control, and then the bus is all there, okay?
At number 52?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Most all this way.
What did he say? He said we gotta walk through immigration thing here and then to bus 52. English.
Where are you from?
U.S., Ohio. Thank you.
So welcome here to Tunisia. It's your first time here?
Yes.
You're welcome. Huh? So we are in LaGoulette, and our excursion today is the shopping tour. So it's the Medina of Tunis. The Medina means the old city from the 7th century AD. So we go first to the Medina to walk around the old city, like we stop by the shops. Then the second part will be Sidi Bou Said. Sidi Bou Said is like a small village. We call it Santorini of Tunisia. It's like a small village in white and blue colors on top of the hill, like facing the sea. And you will have like 3 times to walk around the village. Here is LaGoulette. And LaGoulette, it's famous for fish and seafood. We find there is like restaurants on the right side.
So we'll have about 2.5 hours here in the Medina, which is the old town, and then we'll go off shopping.
The big door for something special like wedding or birthday, they open the two big doors. And in one door we found the symbol of the three religions. You see the Star of David here. The half moon, the symbol of Muslims, the cross, and they use the lunar. You know, Muslim use the lunar, Christian use the solar. And look the cross here for Christian. See the cross. We have the cross, the symbol of Muslims, the half moon, the cross, and the Star of David. And also like it could be 3 or 4 knackers. The small one for children. The one on the right always for women, left is for men. You know why? There is a difference between the sound. You know, male or woman. One is empty, one is like heavier. The sound is different because before 57 she has to cover her face before opening the door. And you see how high they are tall people, right? So they ride the camel. You will see very big doors. So they ride the camel and they knock on the camel. This is why it's very high. You will see even doors bigger. It was built in 698 AD, 7th century. And by the way, it's the oldest university in the world. If you go like the website of Oxford, they post the 5 oldest universities in the world. Here, Azaytuna Mosque is the oldest one. The second one was in Morocco. Third one was in Egypt. Fourth one in Palermo in Italy. And fifth one is Oxford. So here's the oldest university in the world. They study all the subjects there. Okay, continue. Please your attention, you see how she's making the carpets, all by head, by memory, like no catalog, no picture to follow, it's all from her memory. And the design is the jasmine flower design. And to make one like this, it takes around like 4 to 5 months to be finished. And when she finished, she bring it here to the government shop where they control, they put like the name and the idea to control that the money go to help the women. And you will see like the difference between all like the designs. You see here they have the ceramics, you see, so it's all by hand. The porcelain is like the peacock design. We find also what we call it Fatima hand. So it's good luck, the hand, it's silver. Then you find, remember like I told you, the red gold, which is the coral here. So it's a government shop, it's control of the quality, so you can use the credit card, euros, dollars, and you can bargain here. Okay, let's go upstairs, 52.
Guys, this is beautiful. It was worth those steps. It is so hot.
So all what you see here handmade. We talk about the house products, but in short time we cannot see all. We try to show you the best collection that we have. Is good to have an idea about the tradition and the culture. So we talk about the first technique, which is the mostly oldest technique. That is, we call it the Berber kilim. It's from the south of Tunisia, and this is reversible. It's a double face carpet. Just one woman, she weave. It takes about nearly 2 months to make one Berber kilim, and it was used before, like on the day like a carpet, but at night like a blanket. 100% sheepwool, vegetable colors. It can be different types of kilim, smaller and bigger, but as I told you, you cannot see all. Okay.
Heavy.
Come please to touch, to feel it. That's the gates of the Medina.
So they will ship the rugs to you if you purchase. They take credit card, their money, which was, how'd they say their money? I don't remember.
Dinero?
Like dinero, I think. And they also take euros and US dollars, and they will ship it to you by FedEx, 20 to 25 days to get there. But they're beautiful.
And we take credit cards.
160,000 knots per square meter, 90,000 knots per square meter, 40,000 knots per square meter.
Alright guys, so there's room for negotiation here when you're shopping. Also know that here they kind of abide by if you touch, you buy. So I would not touch if you're not going to buy. They will continue to ask you after you've said no. There's a lady standing right here asking me again. So no, they're quite aggressive. I understand they have to make a living, but once you say no, that should be that. But they're constantly asking, and yeah. So if you and they're trying to get you to touch, and the rule of thumb is if you touch, you buy. So don't touch unless you're ready to buy.
The 20 for all, alright?
He's not taking it back. See? So she took the jewelry and he's not taking it back. I said, you touch, you buy. Look, see, look.
No, she doesn't want it.
Yeah, so don't touch. Yeah, no.
use it for wedding. Every night they have wedding here. You will see the courtyard in the middle they cover. They save the space and they put the chairs. Because here the weddings is big. It's around like between 200 up to 500 people. And used to be a typical house. This is 500 years old. Was built on the 16th century. It's you see the plaster, it's all carved by hand. And you will see inside all the tiles. And you know before, like it's not really polite to ask people, are you hungry, are you thirsty? There is a key word. They said the water or coffee. If they said coffee, it means that they need just a drink. They bring them to the rooftop to get the view like the view that we saw at the Ottoman Palace and just have a drink like the rooftop. If they said water, it means that they are really hungry, they need to eat. They knock on the door to let the other woman that there is men coming. So they put their scarf and they bring them inside the house.
So they used to practice polygamy here, and this would be a typical home with a husband and 4 wives and all their children. It's now used for people to get married. He will give you an idea about how they make the distillation of the flower. Then you have time, you can open and smell, and they have clean bathrooms, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Okay, here you have only the perfumes. This is not perfumes, but this is essential oil of the perfumes. And here you have 3 people of the essential oil. You have the essential oil for take the massage, and you have the essential oil for perfume the house, and essential oil perfume the body. Look.
I was going to say it was subtle. She said she didn't smell. It was subtle.
For men and for women. This is in Tunisia, aphrodisiac perfume like Viagra. Because this is perfumes you have immediate effect. How much is it for you, mister?
Like nobody's still alive. The government, they took the building and now it's office. It's through the Ministry of Culture. So people, they work here. It's office now. But they kept exactly how it used to be. You will see the courtyard is open and all the rooms was around. This is bigger than the one that we visit for wedding. This is the one that we visit already 14 bedrooms. This one, it has 18 bedrooms. It's the largest house in the Medina. And supposed to be exactly 2,600 square meters because you have the house and you have the private baths, like the hammam inside the house. You will see how nice and very ornate. No white walls, it means very wealthy people. And they're wealthy from agriculture. They own farms outside of Tunis. Okay, let's go inside. Star of David, we find it looks like a flower, the half moon. The idea they put the croissant up to show that the Muslims has been into part of the world between Spain and China. This is why they put it up, the half moon, the croissant. Then we find the cross here. You see the cross here. And you see how high, as I told you, because they ride the camel. Look how narrow, like was for camels, horses. They ride the camel and they knock on the door. Yalla yalla, yalla yalla, yalla. 22. Yalla yalla.
So guys, this tour has been great. Like I said, we're in a different country, so of course, you know, people are a little different. Like I said, they're pretty aggressive, but it's been a great tour. It's beautiful, like being able to see this area and to be able to shop. I do think some of the prices are a bit higher than they probably would be, of course, for the locals, or I think they've jacked them up because every place we go in, they're like 50% off, and not quite 50% off, but it's kind of cool. So just be prepared to walk. It is very uneven pavement, so if you have any mobility, you have to climb a few stairs, different things, so just be very careful if you decide to take this tour. But it's an awesome shopping tour, and it wasn't very expensive. How much was this tour? Like $45, I think. I think it was like $40 or $45, and we've been out for at least 3 hours or so now, so it gives you, you know, a little tour of the area. We're going out to Sidi Bou Said here in a few minutes, so but it makes for a good day. Yeah, normally I would say, you know, when you're passing vendors, to be like, no thanks, keep walking. These people, you gotta say no. Look them dead in the face. No. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was coming to you.
Oh no, better not come to me. No. You gotta tell them no. Like, no with a mean face and turn your back, because it is crazy. In Sidi Bou Said, and we are here for an hour. We have an hour to kind of explore on our own. They have restaurant shops. I want to get some spices, so we're going to try to walk to the top. Now this is known as Tunis Santorini, or it kind of favors Santorini with the blue and white building, so it's like a mini Santorini. So we're gonna just take a peek to see what it looks like up there and find something to eat. Okay. right, guys, so I'll be very honest with you. This hike up this hill was pretty excruciating. So if you have any mobility issues, just keep in mind that this is a very steep incline. As you see, it is uneven pavement. So if you have any mobility challenges, trouble climbing stairs or going up hills, I definitely would not recommend taking this part of the tour. There are some shops and things down at the bottom of the hill that you can shop and enjoy food and different things there. We really wanted to get to the overlook. They said if you go to the very top, it does give you that Santorini feel. So we really wanted to do that, but honestly, we did not make it all the way to the top. We went as far as we could go, and then we noticed that it was a bit further. And with this being a shorter portion of the tour, we decided not to go all the way to the top. But if you can make it to the top, I highly recommend it. The views from where we were amazing.
I know that's not a burger.
Is it? Well, I'm finna get a burger. We've been wanting a burger. Yeah.
But you ain't gonna get the full effect.
Yeah, so I wouldn't normally eat a burger in a foreign country, but the burger, my sister said it's really good. We've been wanting a burger, and they cook the burgers raw in MSC, so gonna have this. They really didn't have anything different, so we have to eat quick and get back on our tour bus, and then we're headed back to the port. So it's been a great day here. It's been super hot, but really nice. I would love to come back and explore more. I wish we had more time here in Sidi Bou Said. We were here for a little over an hour, I guess, but I would have liked to spend more time here. You better hold on, Cheryl. You better hold on. It's going to dip up. It's going to dip up. Oh, Lord. Cheryl, it's going to dip up. Hold on. Woo! You better hold on. Oh!
Here, let me move out the way.
Oh, that rope back there. Both. They're laughing too. So they videoing you too. No, they are. When I saw that rump, they started laughing. Look, ready?
Scusa, per salire.
Look this way. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
The spokesmodel on the camera.
Let me get from back here for the spokesmodel. Hold on. Woo! All right. Like a robot. Something.
Facciamo quello dove si ha.
He's trying to work for that. hold on. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it. Gina, if you like Gina. I think he likes my sister. Right, right. That's exactly what it is. Oh, hold on, Gina, hold on. Woo! There you go. All right. All right, it is white night. Wearing white. Don't usually wear white, but figured I'd be festive this cruise. So we're off to the steakhouse for dinner. Again, that's part of the specialty dining package. It is one of the options we chose, so hope it's good. So we're sitting in the adults only lounge, and we learned something about this drink menu. So our promotion came with the Easy Plus package, which gives you, in the US, it just changed to $10 per drink. Here in the Mediterranean, it's $9. And so you can get anything on the menu. The way they have the menu set up here is they have the Easy Plus on the first page of the menu. And so we just thought that that was all we could get. Well, there's like 3 or 4 pages of other drinks that are $9 or less that we've been missing out on. So like I was disappointed because there's not really any like Caribbean or tropical drinks, which I would prefer to drink. There are other types of drinks that I'm not a fan of. And so we just discovered that. So keep that in mind. Any drink, Mediterranean right now, it's $9 US. It is $10 for the Easy Plus package. Anything on the menu you can get, not just where it says Easy Plus. So I just ordered a new drink. I'm excited. The BBC has Bailey's, banana, coconut rum, I think coconut cream. So we'll give this a try. Thank you for clicking on this video. Join us Major Sisters on board MSC Grandiosa in the Mediterranean as we make a port stop in Palermo, Italy. In this video, we will explore the port on our own and we'll visit the famous Bolaro market and then take a ship excursion to Mondello Beach in Sicily.
Like yesterday.
Good morning, guys. Today is what day is it? Day 3? Day 3 or day 4? Yeah, day 4 on board MSC Grandiosa. We are very first Mediterranean cruise. We are currently in Palermo, Italy, and we're planning to get off the ship here soon. Downstairs having breakfast. If you don't know me, I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures. Thanks for clicking on this video. So again, this is the very first Mediterranean cruise on board MSC Grandiosa. Super excited to get off in Italy for the very first time. Now we have a shore excursion booked. One thing about MSC is you don't get to select your excursion time. We had one that was going to take us on a city tour and to a beach stop. We were kind of expecting that to be in the morning, and it's actually in the afternoon. So we had plans to go to the street food market in Palermo for lunch this afternoon, but those plans have kind of changed. So we're having a light breakfast this morning. We're gonna get off and explore a little bit, maybe get some coffee, pastries, or something out there in town. Just explore a little bit before our excursion. But yeah, join us, follow along, and we don't know what to expect when we get out here, first time here, so taking you guys with us, and yeah, so we'll see what happens. All right, we are here in Palermo, Italy. We're in the cruise terminal walking out. We're gonna catch a taxi, hopefully, to either Bolaro Market or one of the other markets nearby. One is Bolaro Market is about a 30-minute walk from the cruise terminal, and I don't know the name of the other one, is about 20 minutes. So we're gonna try to catch a taxi if we can, but we'll see how this goes. Yeah, and there's plenty of taxis. They're already calling us. Oh, what does that say? Free?
Good morning. You want taxi to Palermo? I speak English.
We're trying to get to the market.
Yeah, to the market.
All right, y'all. So they hound you. So we're gonna try to catch a taxi. They were trying to sell us a tour. We're like, we already have a tour for today. And he's like, it's not gonna take you to these places. And I'm like, no, we're not doing a tour. Just want to go to the market. You have to be very, very stern. And like we just started walking away. So the guy was like, he'll get us to the market. Like I said, it's a 20-minute walk. He was trying to charge $40, 40 euros for us, for the 4 of us. I'm pretty sure we can get that a little cheaper. So we're gonna see what we can do. All of these taxis are probably them. All right, so it is 10 euros each. We walked down to another taxi driver and he's saying the same thing. So I don't know if the taxis are regulated or not, or if they all kind of just stick to the same price. So we'll pay it. You know, first time in Palermo, we'll do it. We're gonna go to Bolaro Market.
Oh, you're repenting.
Just crossing my fingers that he's not trying to put us in one of these tiny cars. But he got us walking all over the place to get the taxi. can't wait here. Let me get in. Huh? Y'all, he knew we weren't gonna fit in his little car. So, yeah, we'll have to figure it out. So. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they were trying to put us in their little toot-toot. We got a van, though.
I saw you before.
I need a room now.
With the horse. With the people by horse.
Alright, so we are here in Ballara Market, and it was not even a 10-minute taxi ride, so not too far from the port. So Ballara Market is the oldest street market in Palermo. It dates back over 1,000 years. And so it's open most days between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They offer different things. They have fresh food that you can purchase, fish, vegetables, fruit. They also offer souvenirs and different things. And they offer lots and lots of street food options. So be sure to pack euros or your credit card. They do not accept US dollars. So be sure to have euros or your credit card. But lots and lots of things to choose from. We really did have a good time here. Something else to mention is that we noticed as the day went on that it did start getting quite congested here. We did get here first thing as soon as it opened, so some of the food kiosks were not open. But if you go later in the day, just plan on there being a crowd.
So I think it's an interesting way to go. And I like
Alright, so I'm gonna try arancini, which is a fried rice ball. I got this and a Coke for €5. Coke. I don't know, I guess I just pick it up and bite it. Let's see. Good. I asked for meat, but it doesn't have meat in it. Good. And one nice souvenir or thing that I would recommend getting to take back would be some cheese and some of the deli meats. Just ask them which ones hold well without needing to be refrigerated. I did take some back home and they were delicious. Also, something worth mentioning, if you are in a wheelchair or use a scooter or walker, just be advised that the terrain here is not even. There were some cobblestone areas, different paved areas, so just keep that in mind if you're coming by wheelchair, scooter, or walker. You might want to consider the time that you come here so that you have more space when it's not congested, but it's not very wheelchair accessible, but you can get around if you plan your trip well.
Curry powder, turmeric. Alright, I'm gonna grab some spices. Spices to roast. Alright, all the spices I'm getting right there. Spices and herbs. So yeah guys, I'm really enjoying Gala Market. I highly recommend coming here. We got here early before like the crowd. It's starting to get kind of congested, so it's very tight alleyways. But they have some amazing things out here. I got so many spices. I did get some Parmigiano, some salami, like a salami brick or log, I guess you should say, or pepperoni, I think it was, per card. Yeah, so highly recommend coming out here. Like I said, it was 10 euros to get here from the port. But yeah, if you want to pick up souvenirs, they have souvenirs. They have different food stalls you can get food from. I'll be honest, like I thought I would try more food out here, but some of the seafood, like I know they specialize in seafood, but some of the seafood is sitting out, and I'm very funny about temperature. So I don't know if I'll be trying any of that, but that arancini was pretty good. So, but yeah, definitely highly recommend coming out here.
What the hell is those? Oh, snails. They're moving. They're moving.
Oh wow. They are moving.
Yeah, see the snails? They're moving.
Escargot?
Oh my gosh.
Avanti che lavoriamo, grazie, avanti che lavoriamo. Avanti un altro.
Fresh escargot. Can't get any fresher than that.
They don't have to be refrigerated? They call on the ship. I didn't get coffee this morning. I was hoping to get coffee in the market, but there was no coffee, so I'm having coffee right now. And maybe a fruit punch in a minute. But so one thing about these ports over here, or the itineraries, that you have really long port days. So it's almost like we're doing a 2-for-1 today. We went off and explored on our own. And like I said, it was 10 euros to get to the market. It was only 30 euros total for the 4 of us coming back. But there are some buses that operate. So if you go to Google Maps, you can type in where you're trying to go, and it'll tell you how to walk to the bus stop, how many euros it is, and then how to get to where you're going. So you could also use the bus here. I would probably recommend that over taxi because of the cost. But it's kind of cool because, like I said, we're back now. We have almost 2 hours before our next excursion. Our next excursion is about 4 hours long, and it's going to take us through Palermo. And then we have a stop in Mondello Beach, and we'll be there at the beach for about 2 hours or so. So we'll be getting back close to dinner time. We have a reservation at the Hibachi, so we're gonna see if we can change our time, but we'll see. But yeah, it's been a great day so far. I'm absolutely loving Palermo. Definitely think I want to come back here. I also recommend, I guess I told you guys this before, I really slacked on learning how to speak Italian, or yeah, and most of the people we ran into did not speak any English, so just be aware of that. You're gonna have to have your Google Translate out or some sort of translation service to help you. There were like one stop, there was a kid that could actually help us, but yeah, be sure you know at least a few words. I kind of failed at that. My short-term memory doesn't allow me to remember those types of things, but
make sure you know, like, good morning. We were trying to figure out how to throw our trash away, if we needed to leave our trash on the table or if they come by. And that was like, when the little boy came over to help us. So just make sure you know a little something. And if you don't know a little something, be comfortable enough to pull out your Google Translate to help you out, because it could be a struggle if you're trying to get things, whatever. So enjoy my coffee, and we're gonna relax until it's time for our next tour. All right, we're gonna grab some lunch before we head out for our next tour. Not sure, we're taking a beach stop. And the tour portion, we don't get off the bus. It's just sightseeing from the bus, and then we go to the beach. I'm guessing there's food at the beach, but I'm like, I didn't want to chance because I had a very, very light breakfast. So we're gonna just grab something light for lunch, and we'll see. But the buffet's pretty empty right now. And as I mentioned before, guests are getting on the ship today. So Mediterranean cruises, people get on and off at each port, which is kind of cool to see. So this tour, they're giving us radio and earbuds for the language. So MSC will arrange your ship time based on, or your excursion time based on language. For this day, like I said, we wanted to go early, but they said Italian and English for this excursion was later in the day. So actually, my sister made up a good point that it's probably better that we did this at the end rather than exploring in the town, because we're guaranteed to get back to the ship. So we're off to the beach. We have a tour. We have our radios and earbuds to listen as we go through Palermo. Now guys, I'll be very honest about this excursion. Now it's always nice to have these quick tours that take you around the island or the town. However, having gone to Ballara Market in the morning, we really didn't see the value in this tour except for going to the beach, because we saw a lot of these areas on our way to the market. Also, we felt like the tour guide, she gave a lot of information, a lot of history, but her voice was probably the most soothing voice that I've heard. And I felt like it was kind of hypnotizing me, and we started dozing off. So definitely keep that in mind. I mean, the tour was good. It's good for those that want to just get some history and see the area. But we had seen a lot of this prior to taking the tour, but it was nice to go to the beach. We are now in Mondello, Sicily. Beautiful. Guys, it's beautiful here. Nice. The water is nice and warm.
But I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to be this clear, but it's beautiful. Now, she said there are several different entrances to this beach, and as you see, it is pretty packed. But they have like resort areas that you can pay $15 for 2 chairs and an umbrella if they have space available. So she stopped by 2 and they had some space, but we're only gonna be here for about 2.5 hours. So we are going to just enjoy the beach and then go to the bar. I did too. It's nice. It feels good.
It does feel good, but
yeah, because it's beautiful. It's very picturesque. I wish we could go over here where all the buildings are. That looks like you can get some awesome photo ops over there. The beach is pretty crowded. There's not a whole lot of people in the water, and it looks like it's really shallow. Like people are standing up way out there, so it's pretty shallow.
walking all the way out there. So just dump right here.
All right, so I'm trying a canola. I clarified, I said, is it cannoli or canola? So I guess in Sicily they call it a canola. So I got one of those and a sandwich with ham, turkey, and cheese.
I got the order.
Guys, this is really good. I like that roll.
I got the wrong thing.
Whatever's in there.
Water's hot.
Yeah, whatever kind of roll that is, it's really good. And the ham, spicy. Yeah, I don't even know what it's called, but it's really good. So yeah, I wasn't planning on eating that whole sandwich. I just wanted to try it because we had dinner in like 3 hours at the hibachi. I finished it all. It was so good. Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing we've had so far. Really good. I see why this is a large. That is so good. My first real cannoli.
I don't know. The ice cream tastes good.
That is really good.
I thought it was mango, but it's not mango.
Really good. I'm not impressed with this. Very, very small portion compared to MSC Grandiosa. Very small. Alright y'all, so dinner just wasn't that good. Portion size was small, very slow service. I enjoyed hibachi on Meraviglia, but did not enjoy it on this ship. So there wasn't a whole lot of options. Just took forever. The food was salty. So we're exhausted. It's been a very long day. I'm gonna enjoy this gelato, And I'm probably going to call it a night. So guys, tomorrow we are in Sorrento. We have a full day tour, so be sure to stick around for that. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and stay tuned. Tomorrow we're in Sorrento, so enjoy this. And I'm going to bed. It's been a really long day. Thanks for watching. Today we are in Naples, Italy, and heading down the Amalfi Coast to visit the beautiful town of Sorrento. Join us, Major Sisters, as we take in all of the beautiful views of Sorrento, visit a limoncello factory, and try authentic Italian pasta for the first time. Morning guys, I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures. Thanks for clicking on this video. It is day 5 on board MSC Grandiosa, my very first Mediterranean cruise celebrating my 40th birthday. We have arrived in Sorrento. So we are in Sorrento, Italy today. We are up bright and early. Our port time was 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So real early port day. And we have an excursion plan this morning. So we are getting off, preparing to take an excursion with MSC. So one thing about Sorrento and some of the ports that you might visit in the Mediterranean is that sometimes there's not a whole lot to do right at the port area. You might have to catch a bus ride further out. So we're actually going to be, I believe, going to Naples today from Sorrento. So it's about an hour-and-a-half drive to and from, but we're going to be off exploring. So be sure to like this video, follow along on this journey. But we are up and getting ready to head out. Also, no breakfast this morning, probably TMI, but we had hibachi and sushi last night. I don't know if it's that well with me all night long. So take it easy today, not going to have breakfast or coffee or anything like that. But yeah, so just make sure that if I don't usually have a sensitive stomach or anything like that. I think there was something that wasn't right. But be sure you pack Pepto-Bismol, you know, anything that you might need in case you do get some sort of stomach upset or whatever. So yeah, no coffee, no breakfast this morning. Hopefully I can make it through the morning without my coffee. But yeah, it's going to be a great day. And guys, I had the wrong ports. We are actually docked in Naples, but we're going to Sorrento this morning. I just can't keep track. So we are in Naples, but our tour will be in Sorrento today. It is a full day tour. It's a bus ride out there. I think a narrated bus tour out there. And then we'll have like an hour and a half or so for a walking tour, and then we'll have some time on our own there. So we are in Naples, headed to Sorrento.
Welcome to Naples. My name is Carmine, C-A-R-M-I-N-E. Welcome on this beautiful tour to Sorrento, the town of the mermaids, sirenas. That's what the name Sorrento means. From Sireon in Greek language means mermaids. We have 4 castles in Naples and 2 royal palaces. They pretend they want to drive here in Mamma mia. It's a headache for us when you meet of environment and the place.
Oh, they ain't gonna talk the whole time.
But also lately by
All right, guys, so I know you heard me just say, I hope they're not gonna talk the entire time. Keep in mind, this was an hour-and-a-half drive to Sorrento. And yes, they talked the entire time. So I'm sharing this because please be mindful when you take a tour, especially when it's a narrated tour like this, to be mindful of if you're traveling with a family or with small children or even as a group, that you are respectful of those that are attending the tour, that paid for the tour, that want to enjoy the tour. Because even after, we made mention of, asking them to be quiet or other passengers kind of shushing them, they didn't care. They continued to talk the entire ride. So unfortunately, I was not able to get some of that narration, some of the history and facts that our wonderful tour guide was sharing with us because all you could hear was background noise behind me. So sharing this, please be mindful of those who are on the tour with you because we like to enjoy our tours. So guys, I have to tell you that I was a bit nervous booking this tour, knowing that it was going to be about 3 to 4 hours on a bus. But I have to tell you that the views going down the Amalfi Coast were amazing. So it's definitely worth it. It was a perfect excursion to kind of kick back and relax. So I definitely enjoyed this. Now, if you're looking to book a Mediterranean cruise or any cruise, definitely reach out to me at Major Adventures Travel Agency. I'd love to help you plan your next cruise adventure. Also, something to note, as you're leaving Naples, if you want to catch these stunning views, be sure you're sitting on the right side of your bus. We are visiting a limoncello factory. That is what they specialize here in Sorrento. They said they grow the best lemons, and limoncello is that's their thing here. So we're gonna check out this limoncello and try some samples and probably get some to take home.
Okay, come closer to us, please. Sorry, but today is Saturday, so at the moment they are not working. You can see the process, just the machines. But in this factory we produce 3 different kind of liquors. Limoncello, the original one, that's 30% of alcohol. The second one is lemon cream with milk inside, so a little bit less alcoholic and sweeter. And the third liquor is the strongest one in alcohol. It's like a grappa and it's 42% of alcohol. Now you can see the machines from the end to the start. This is the last part of the production where they wash all the bottles and here fill them with the limoncello. And then it's ready to be sold. Now in this machine you can see the lemon skins that they use to make limoncello. That now comes up, don't worry, that stay in infusion in pure alcohol for a week, 10 days. After 10 days, they remove the skins, add the sugar and water to this alcohol, and the limoncello is ready, that's it. Very easy. Inside you can see the skins.
Thank you.
We have also the cream and the grappa.
Can I try the cream?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's really strong. It's really strong. But I like it with the cream. I love anything with cream. Yep, I think that's what I'm getting. Yes, please.
Dark with coffee and dark with orange. Test one by one.
Thank you.
Sally, you want to test?
Oh, that coffee is really good.
Numero 6 spagnolo.
Alright, I grabbed the kids some limoncello candies without limoncello, and then some with, and a little bottle to take home.
Okay. Now listen to the instructions. We are now in the Piazza Tasso. This is the center of the modern Sorrento. Like I was saying, this is the main boulevard, Corso Italia. The shops, okay, in the piazza. Here is the Fauno Bar, where if you like you can sit, have a coffee. There are toilets downstairs. And here is the Iannuzzi Woodwork Factory, in case you want to see the stuff, the beautiful works inlaid by something there. There are also toilets inside. Down to the right side you find more toilets. The meeting point for you, for everybody, whether you've come with me now to the viewpoint or stay on your road, is at 11 o'clock. 11, right by the flags over there. Okay, very easy to read. All right. Even though Sorrento is so small, but it gave birth to one of the most important poets of the Italian literature that our kids study in the school, Torquato Tasso, who lived here in the 16th century. Andiamo.
So as you probably heard, this portion of the tour, we had about 2.5 hours here. So you had the option of actually going off and exploring the center of Sorrento on your own, or you can follow the tour guide. We did follow him for a portion of our time in the center of Sorrento, and then we did explore a little bit on our own. I'd
also like to share that this excursion was not necessarily wheelchair scooter accessible. There were very, very narrow streets that we had to walk to get here that would not accommodate a wheelchair scooter, so keep that in mind if you have any accessibility concerns. And just another word of caution, like I tend to like to do third-party excursions and things like that. Keep in mind with the drive back to Naples, our tour guide did say that if you got left here, more than likely you would not make your ship because you'd have to catch a train or a boat ride and it could take several more hours. So keep that in mind. I would say book an MSC excursion if you're going that far away from port.
Grazie.
Molto bene. Che stai scrivendo? Aspetta il pezzo di carta.
I need that bread. I need that bread. So we're here in Sorrento. We're in the middle of town. We have about an hour before we have to meet up for our tour, so we're going to get some pasta. I think my stomach is settled enough I can have some pasta. And how did he say it? Not Coca-Cola. He said hola hola.
And they put them in everything, apparently.
Yes, please.
Voila,
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Beautiful. Ready?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's give this lasagna a try.
No more. L'hai mandato già, non l'ho mandato.
It's good. But I'll be honest, like the pasta is really good. The sauce to me is very reminiscent of Chef Boyardee. I'm not being funny, I'm sorry. It is.
You can tell it's a fresh sauce.
Yeah. It's good. I really love the pasta. And the cheese. So it's good. Just different. So yeah, I have to say, my first experience with pasta in Italy wasn't positive, and I totally understand that they cook things differently. They don't add as many, spices and things. It's like natural tomato sauce, things like that. I totally get it, but I think our mistake was coming to this tourist area. This was actually the first spot too where they asked for service charge. No other place that we've been to have they asked. So I think, I wonder if the pasta and things would be different going to like a mom and pop shop, So I'll have to come back and check it out and see. But
I ate it. Just wasn't what I was expecting. And guys, don't come in the comments about it either, because I know. I'm in Italy, but yeah. All right, y'all, back on the ship. Guys, I am exhausted, but my legs hurt, so I'm going to find a jacuzzi to soak for a little bit. It's hot out, but I feel like I need to rest my legs for a little bit, so let's check out the main pool deck. I think we're going to go to the safari pool that tends to be less crowded. Alright guys, so finally up. I took about a 2-hour nap. I'm just feeling so exhausted today. Just all the movement, walking, not feeling well last night. But I'm up now. Something to note, MSC, they closed their buffets down. So we didn't want to go to the main dining room today. We don't have any more specialty dining. So we were hoping to have dinner. We were hoping to come here for dinner, but they don't open till 7. And I think I mentioned in a previous vlog that typical dinner time over here in the Mediterranean is like 9 p.m. For us, dinner time is like 6 o'clock. So we have to wait now for dinner here in the buffet at 7. It'll be limited options. Right now I'm just munching on some french fries because I haven't really eaten much all day. So I'm a little hungry. So just keep that in mind if you're used to eating like around 6. You can go to the main dining room at 6, but if you choose to do the buffet, it's not opening until 7. Alright guys, so dinner wasn't good at all. There weren't many options at the buffet at all. But we're off to a show. This will be our first non-paid show on MSC. We'll see what this is about.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big applause for our amazing dancers from California,
Alright guys, it's been a very busy day. I'm completely exhausted. It's like I think I was taking for granted the sea days. Having an itinerary where our first day was the sea day and we haven't had any other sea day. Kind of missing that because having these ports back to back, not having time to let my body rest, it's kind of tough. So consider that when you book a Mediterranean cruise. But tomorrow we will be in Genoa, and we have an excursion that will take us over to Milan. So super excited for that. So be sure to stick around for that adventure. If you have not done so already, please give this video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Have a lot of cruise content coming your way. But for now, I'm going to rest this body and prepare for our full day excursion tomorrow in Milan. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Today we are in Genoa, Italy, and we'll take the 2-hour trek to the fashion capital of the world, Milan. Join us, Major Sisters, as we explore the fort in Milan, try McDonald's abroad, and visit the massive Duomo di Milano Cathedral. All right, good morning, guys. I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures. Today is day 6 on board MSC Grandiosa, and we are pulling into Genoa.
We are in Genoa, Italy. This is my very first Mediterranean cruise. Let me give you guys a quick view. Sorry, the glass is a little dirty. But we're about to get off the ship, and let me see if I can get you guys a better view. Yeah, we're gonna be getting off the ship here. We have a full day tour in Milan. So it's literally 9 to 5. We'll be gone all day, but it's gonna make for a great day. So be sure to follow our adventures. All right, time for breakfast and coffee. And guys, we've been literally eating the same breakfast every day. So one thing about MSC is they're not changing out their breakfast. And I feel like it's even more limited on this sailing than the other two from the US that I've been on. So keep that in mind. It's going to be the exact same menu on the buffet. Same thing in the dining room. They eat a lot of pastries, a lot of cakes, a lot of sweets. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, having breakfast. Also something I didn't mention in the previous vlog, something we have over here is they have a bar service button. And I don't know if they've updated the US for this, but I have not seen it on the MSC ships that I've sailed on. But when you're having breakfast, lunch, or dinner in the buffet, you can press for bar service. They'll bring you over like wine, drinks, no, not cocktails, but like wine, water, sodas, coffee. And I had to get 2 cappuccinos to make up from yesterday. I didn't have any coffee yesterday. And that's why I was so tired. Alright, we are headed to our excursion meeting point, which is in the theater. It seems like they've been using the theater and another lounge, so just check your ticket. And again, we booked an MSC excursion for today, or for our entire cruise really, because we felt safer doing that, being here in the Mediterranean for the first time. Typically, Caribbean, since I've been there so many times, I don't do short excursions through the ship because they're a little more expensive, but I felt like it was worth having that peace of mind booking it through MSC. And so far, the excursions have been really good. And the price has been pretty decent. All right, here we are, first time in Genova. And there's the MSC World Europa. This is one of MSC's newest ships.
Where we will find our guide, the tour guide, and our driver is Romeo, so he will take us safely and smoothly to Milan. It's going to take about 2 hours by car, by bus. So about safety, please wear your seatbelt, fasten your seatbelt. Always be seated while we are driving because it's dangerous. I will be moving.
This is the first time they told us to buckle our seatbelt. They drive crazy here, y'all.
Don't use the food.
All right, I mentioned this in a previous vlog, so be sure to check it out if you missed our other Mediterranean cruise vlogs. But when you plan your Mediterranean cruise, keep in mind that sometimes you will port in a city or town where there's not a whole lot there. Some of the popular sites are going to be quite a ways away. Like I said, Milan is about 2 hours away from Genoa, and I have to tell you guys, it was a long 2-hour drive. Now I'm showing you these scenic scenes here. However, it was probably about a good hour stretch of just highway, and so it does not make for a very pleasant ride if you're really wanting to see those sites. So just keep that in mind, that you might want to research your ports to see how far you're going to have to get away to get to those popular sites.
All right, so here we are at the Sforza Castle. Now this is one of the more popular landmarks there in Milan. This was built in the 15th century. Now I have to tell you that this was more like a courtyard. You could view it and walk around it, but as part of the tour, it really did not allow time for stopping and learning about the castle. And I have to say that our tour guide, she was very sweet, but she was very, very soft-spoken, so we really couldn't hear or understand what she was saying as far as, you know, giving us some of the history of the fort. You could tell by my sister's face right here that she wasn't really feeling it. So I have to say this probably was our least favorite excursion of this entire cruise. Like I said, if you were to do this on your own, you probably would have time to take in some of that history. They also have a museum here that ranges from 3 to 5 euros. That you can actually go through the museum. You can see it here on the left. There was a long line to get in there, so we were not able to do that. But pretty much this tour just took us through the castle, and then it led the way to get to the large cathedral here in Milan. All right, so now we're headed off to Duomo di Milano. That is the largest cathedral there in Milan, one of the largest in the world. Now, this part of the tour, we were able to actually continue the tour with our group and go straight to the cathedral. They said there was a long line to get in. They recommend purchasing the tickets in advance. We decided at this point that we would just go and explore on our own. So we did just stop here in the main shopping center of Milan and just browse a little bit. And we did make our way to the cathedral, but you have the option of staying with the group to go to the cathedral, or you can explore on your own. This is the first McDonald's that we've run into, guys. Now, I don't eat McDonald's in the States. But I'm gonna try this just to see, because if it's like the sodas where they take all the bad stuff out, the chemicals and all that, I wonder if these burgers are gonna taste any different. So I'm gonna get a burger just to see. You want to? So that's already different. The cafe is totally separate than the restaurant. So yeah, that's kind of cool. We're gonna order from the kiosk. Does it go in English? All right, it says 100% Italian beef. All right, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna get Big Mac. Yeah, the fries are the same. They're good, they're hot. What's that? Big Mac? Big Mac.
Oh, you got a whole slice of cheese?
Right. I'm gonna take that middle.
I think the beef is different.
I'm gonna take that middle piece of bread up, like all that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. The beef is a little different. Yeah, chocolate.
This is breathtaking. Like, it doesn't even look real. Like, not at all. It is amazing.
All right, so we actually decided not to go inside the cathedral. It was about a 2-hour wait to get inside. Now, there are 2 entrances. One side is if you're going inside to worship. One side is if you're going inside to view. If you're going inside to worship, our tour guide said that you could go on that side. However, you're not able to take any cameras in, take pictures or anything like that. If you're going on this side to actually just go in and take a look around, then it was about a 2-hour wait. Something cool about the cathedral, though, is that you can actually climb to the very top of the exterior of the cathedral and take in all of the sights there. But if you're taking a tour, keep in mind you will have a long wait. And if you're booked on a short excursion, more than likely you will not have a chance to get inside of the cathedral because of the time it takes to get back to port. All right, we are back on the ship. We're almost back on the ship. Today's tour was really nice. It was 2-hour ride there, 2 hours back, but it was nice because it was breezy out, sun wasn't beaming. We were able to shop, see some of Milan, so it was a perfect tour, especially if you don't want to do a whole lot of walking. And I like that they gave us the option to leave the group and just meet back up, so we did do that. So back here at the ship.
Happy birthday to Dad.
Happy birthday, Dad. All right, we are going to give the dining room another try. It wasn't good on formal night, but the buffet hasn't been good either. A little disappointed in this, the food on this particular MSC ship, but we're going to go ahead and give it a try again. Hello, hello. Hello. Guys, see how empty it is? So I mentioned this before, but it seems like on these Mediterranean cruises, typical dinner time is like 9 p.m. So if you do an early dinner time, it's going to be empty. So I know some don't mind it being empty, but just keep that in mind that they do a later dinner time. All right, we are sailing away from Genoa. My sister was just saying she's getting her mouth set to go to the buffet to make a little sandwich. You guys not keep it honest. The food has not been good on this ship. I think the best thing we had was the steakhouse was decent. The tacos weren't bad. It was just different. It was different from my last experience with tacos. But dining room has not been good. Buffet has not been good. So. And I know in my previous MSC vlogs, I said the food was decent. It's not on this ship. I found that it was okay on the other ones. It's just not. So we've been not satisfied as far as that. So we'll see what the steak does. Not even, right? Yeah. So the best part about dinner was the vanilla ice cream. Everything else just wasn't good. We're gonna check out the buffet. guys, back in the cabin. It's been a beautiful day. Today's weather has been perfect. Like, it's been probably a high around 80, 85, so not as hot as the previous days. Dinner food just was not good. Even went to the adults only lounge area. The drinks there just aren't good either. So I don't know, I'm getting to the point now where I'm enjoying these ports and this experience, but I'm almost ready to get off the ship. And I don't ever say that, but I think I'm about ready to get off the ship, only because I just feel like I haven't really been able to find anything to eat. And again, this experience on this MSC ship was different than my other experiences. So yeah, it's making me think, but I'm going to bed exhausted. I have a little bit of work to do before I go to bed. But we also, tomorrow we will be in Marseille, France, and there's a shuttle. So it sounds like we have to actually dock about 40 minutes away from the city center. And my understanding was there was a free shuttle that would take you to and from there. Well, it's not free. It's $17 per adult, $12 per child. And I only found out about it because it was on my bed. So my sister called guest services and they said pretty much everyone who does not have an excursion gets charged for the ticket. So you need to check your account, because if you're someone that decides, you know, you don't want to get off in Marseille, they're charging you. And the only way you can get a refund is if you take your ticket to the excursions desk and they'll give you a refund. So some people may not even realize that. And so they may not get off tomorrow and they're going to be charged. We had plans to get off. We're still going to get off because we don't have any excursions tomorrow. Otherwise we wouldn't get this ticket. But since we don't have excursion, we have this ticket just to get us to the city center to and from, because we plan to go into Marseille and have breakfast rather than eating on the ship. And then we're going to go up to see the cathedral there, and we're going to get back on the ship. So tomorrow's going to be a very short port day for us because it's also our last day on the ship. So we kind of want to take advantage of the jacuzzis and pools and get packed up and all of that and not feel rushed, because tomorrow's port day is 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we want to get back on the ship in time to kind of relax and enjoy the last bit of the ship. So that is it for today. I'm headed to bed. So I appreciate you guys following along on this journey. If you're new to our channel, please consider subscribing. And on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow in Marseille, France. All right, here's a little bit of bonus footage for you guys. Now, if you follow us on social media, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We mentioned Mr. Jack a couple times during our sailing. He was in love with my sister.
When it's sunning, Cheryl. George?
Jack.
I found it. It's over by the fried rice.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
No. No, fried Jack.
Told you that's your husband. Today, we are visiting our last port of our very first Mediterranean cruise. We are in the historical city of Marseille, France. Join us, Major Sisters, as we explore the city center of Marseille, have breakfast there, and catch a train ride up to the beautiful Notre Dame de la Garde. Guys, good morning again. Let's try it again. My camera died all of a sudden. I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures. Today we are in Marseille, France. We are on board MSC Grandiosa for a 7-night cruise. Today is night 7 or day 7. So we're approaching the end of our cruise. So we just caught a shuttle with MSC from the port to the city center, and we're about to go off and have breakfast. We didn't eat breakfast on the ship because the food has been kind of hit or miss on this sailing, but we're here in Marseille. We do not have a tour like all of the other ports. We're just off. We're gonna have some breakfast and
see what there is for us to do. So we're just exploring on our own today. You guys ready? There's a cafe here. I don't know if there's... Alright, and if you guys have been following our vlog series, you know that we've booked shore excursions through all the other ports. However, I would say that Marseille is probably a port that you may not need to book an excursion for. There are tons of shops, restaurants, cafes, things that you can do right here once you get into the city center. You will have to catch a shuttle. Some cruise lines offer it for free. MSC did charge us, I believe it was $17 per person. But there's lots of things to do right here in the city center. So you don't have to necessarily book a shore excursion. And as you'll see here soon, we made our own day by taking the train up to the cathedral. So definitely follow along and we'll show you guys how to get up to the cathedral. So I think I'm gonna have the English breakfast, which is coffee or coffee with cream, bread and butter, and then you can get a plain omelet or a ham or cheese omelet. So I'm gonna do that. So we're gonna catch the train up to the cathedral and probably catch the bus back down, unless it's round trip. We're gonna figure this out. Like, we absolutely had nothing planned in port, so we're just seeing what we can get into. We knew we wanted to go up there to get views of the city. There's also an option to catch a ferry across to one of the famous prisons here that was part of a lot of books. Can't think of the name of it. We wanted to do that, but I kind of heard some mixed reviews on, like, if the weather's kind of choppy, you could get delayed over there catching the ferry back, and didn't want that. So yeah, I think the safest thing is for us to catch the train up to the cathedral, sightsee, and maybe find something else to eat and get back on the ship. So this looks like for the bus. So the train is back where we came from. So we walked over here. You catch the ferries from there, as well as the city bus. But if you want to catch the train, it's back where we were by the restaurant. So we're walking back. I thought I had smelled fish. Yeah. Yeah, they're catching fresh fish right here from the pier. It's kind of cool. So as you see here, you can make a full day here in Marseille. They do have like a hop on, hop off called the Color Bus Tour there. You can book that online, or again, you can take the train like we're doing. So it's €9 for the train. They have two different routes. One route's going to take you near like the port area, and the other route's going to take you to the cathedral. So we're going to do that. He said it's up here on the right between these buildings. Huh? Give it to Gina. Gina charged hers. Oh, did you? Yeah. Alright, and something to know about this train ride is that it is not a narrated tour. So if you want a narrated tour, I recommend doing the Color Bus. This was literally just a shuttle up to the cathedral and back. It is round trip cost, or you can purchase a one-way ticket. But something to note there is that the seating space is kind of tight. The seats are pretty narrow, and then if you have long legs like I do, you definitely want to try to sit in like one of these sections here so you have more leg room. Alright, so even though this is not a narrated tour, I definitely highly recommend taking this train ride. Like I said, the cost was pretty nice, and you catch all of the nice views of Marseille. And once you get up to the cathedral, it is breathtaking. You have these panoramic views. So I highly recommend, if you do nothing else in Marseille, that you catch this train to go up to the cathedral to catch in all of those sights. It's about a 15 to 20 minute ride up to the cathedral. It's a lot quicker coming back, but definitely do it. It was worth it. And as you see here, there is a free public beach located right here near the city center. So if you just want to get off the ship and go to the beach, you can do that there. There is a small boardwalk there. There are restrooms and restaurants nearby. And here is Chateau d'If. Again, this is the historical prison there. You can catch the ferry over. Now, again, I do advise if you're on a cruise to be cautious because you could get stuck over there in inclement weather. But I've heard that it's wonderful. I do hope to experience that the next time we visit Marseille.
Take a picture of it? For the sign?
So guys, it is beautiful inside and outside, so it's definitely worth coming up here
to get these views. So you get a panoramic view of Marseille. Absolutely stunning. So guys, word of caution, if you take this train, there's no organization getting back on. People were just skipping the line. And as soon as the train pulled, everybody just kind of piled in. So there's really no organization leaving the town up. But leaving out, it was a long line and no organization. And the guy got smart with us because we were trying to tell a lady who brought her whole family to the front of the line to get to the back. And he was very sarcastic with us. All right, now we're gonna try to pick up a couple souvenirs. Guys, as you see, there is a long line, so I highly recommend getting out early if you're gonna explore the port on your own or do the train ride, because there is a huge line now. And we pretty much just got on, we walked up and got on. So keep that in mind. It's a nice price, but you don't wanna wait in this line too long in this heat. All right, something else nice about the city center of Marseille is that there is a mall located here, so you can definitely get off the ship right into the city center and check out the mall and shop there. So yeah, I know this seems like a basic lunch in Marseille, but there's really not a whole lot of food options. Surprisingly, there's still a lot of pastries, croissants, things like that. So yeah, but there's a lot of burger spots right here in the city town. So we figure might as well get a burger. Yeah, and the burger's terrible. It's like a Flanders patty. If you know, you know, but that's what this is. It's not good. All right, it is almost 2:30 and we are about to get back on the shuttle bus back to the port. Now, looks like there's a long line up here. We're in port until 6 p.m. Back on board time's 5:30. I think I saw the sign said 4:45 was the last shuttle, so be sure to check the times for that. Yeah, it looks like a really long line, so keep that in mind. Back to the ship. This is it for us for our trip. First Mediterranean cruise, guys. I am so tired. I'm ready to get back home. So wish I could just snap my fingers and miraculously get there.
I'm so tired, ready to get back home to my family. But I've had a great time. This has been amazing. So we'll see what we have to do or what's here on board. Last night on board. We'll check it out, but it was a great day in Marseille. So guys, I got this Purple Rain drink here. So on the Easy Plus package, which was included with my cruise fare, you get any drink up to $9. I have not found a drink that I personally have liked. I tend to like tropical, fruity, fruit punches, drinks like that. They just don't have them on this ship. So I was like, oh, maybe this last day I'll upgrade and get something on the tropical. There's like a section called Tropical Paradise, which are like the only tropical drinks, and they are a $3 upcharge. So I thought I would get, the drinks are very strong. So if you like strong drinks, you'll love them. I don't necessarily care for a strong drink. I just want a good drink. A good drink with enough, to get you, a little relaxed. But these are really strong drinks and not fruity at all. So if you're like me, you care for that. You probably won't find on the ship. And we've pretty much been to all the bars and just haven't found it. But there are, if you like strong drinks, they definitely have lots of options, especially on the Easy Plus package. I think the value in their drink package is great, especially all the waters and sodas and things we've already had to drink. So we're making good use of it. I just have not had much to drink because I haven't cared for them. All right, mostly packed. It is tropical night. This is as tropical as it's getting. Probably won't even stay up for the tropical party because they do their parties like 11:30 at night. That just doesn't work for me. But we're here in the buffet. We're gonna try to grab a quick snack or something. And we'll see if anything's any good. And then we have a show to go to. So we're here in the buffet. All right, we are off to the theater for a show. It's a 35-minute show. All of the shows, well, the ones that we've been to have been in other languages, none English. So we'll see if tonight if they'll do even a portion of the show in English. I don't think so, though.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide. From the sun begins to fade. With somebody, yeah, dance with somebody who loves me. Roll me on the river. Come on! Oh,
I'm a little impressed. That wasn't too bad. Not bad at all. All right, good morning, guys. See, I got my shirt on. That means it is disembarkation morning. It is now almost 9:30. So technically we're supposed to get off the ship around 8:30 was our time. But the buffet closes at 11:30. So what we're trying to do is our flight is not till later this evening. Originally we were gonna get off and explore Barcelona. We even paid to have our bags checked through a company called Bags and Go, where they will pick it up here in the cruise terminal and get your bags to the airport so that we were free to explore Barcelona. But we're tired, so we're not going to take advantage of that service, and we're going to go straight to the airport. But we didn't want to get off too early and sit at the airports. We figured we'll stay on the ship until they kick us off. So the buffet closes at 11:30. Like I said, according to our paper, we're supposed to get off at 8:30. But I mentioned in the previous vlog that Mediterranean cruises, some of them, they have people getting on and off at each port. And when we got on the ship around 11:30 a week ago, people were still getting off. So we don't think there's a problem with us staying on to get off. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to just kind of hang here. We'd rather hang here where we have food and drinks and things, and then get off and go to the airport. So we're going to hang tight for another 2 hours if we can. If they kick us out or if they call our names over the intercom, I'll let you guys know. But we're going to take advantage. I mean, we paid for our cruise. We might as well. They're going to let us stay on board. We might as well. So we're just hanging tight here in the buffet. We have all of our luggage and things. We did not check our bags because I figured if we checked our bags, they would see our bags down there and they probably would call for us. So we have all of our bags. And we're going to try to hang tight here for another 2 hours before we head to the airport. Our flight, guys, we have a long flight or a long couple travel days getting home. We flew TAP Portugal, which is a budget airline. So our flight doesn't leave here in Barcelona until 8 p.m. We have an hour and a half flight to Lisbon. We have a 13-14 hour layover in Lisbon. And so tomorrow morning we catch our flight from Lisbon to Boston. Then Boston, we're catching Southwest home, but we have a layover in Baltimore. So a lot of stuff going on. We really wish we could find a flight. I'm here searching now last minute flights, trying to get straight home, but it's just not. Like I said, the price we paid was probably about half the price if we would have just flown direct, but like to save some money. So we won't get home until tomorrow at midnight. So we still have a couple of days. I'm going to stop this vlog here though. If something interesting happens or if we get kicked off the ship, I'll be sure to check back in. But thanks again for checking out this vlog series. This has been an amazing 40th birthday trip. I'm already planning another trip back here to the Mediterranean. It's been awesome. So great adventure. Be sure to stay tuned for a full ship review, full itinerary review. But like I said, it's been amazing. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close out, but I might be back. Let's see. If not, that means we made it home safely and everything's good to go. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.